So after CES and checking out the new Gen 4 Shelly in-wall relays, finally Doug was able to send me some to review, and of course, no additional funds were exchanged. We definitely keep it unbiased as always. But these Shelly in-wall relays, they're pretty damn awesome. I mean, check out the box right on the front. All-in-one product for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, even Zigbee. Now, if you do remember at CES 2024, we actually talked to the CTO and asked him about Zigbee. Well, things do change in a year, as you can see. So we got Zigbee, and then we got the Matter. Now, Matter over Wi-Fi. This is not Thread, but the pretty cool stuff, it does it all. It's all one SKU. They've got several different ones right now. There's different relays. You've got the 16 amp, 8 amps. Then they're like the power monitoring, little small guy. Don't have that one here, but there's going to be more coming, I'm sure, because it's really just, from what I saw, just changing the actual chip inside. And yep, for you geeky people, what chip is inside? It actually, I did confirm it is the ESP32C6. So that gets us that Zigbee, it gets us Wi-Fi 6. Now don't get confused about Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 5. This is not 6 gigahertz, not 5 gigahertz. It's Wi-Fi 6 on 2.4 gigahertz, but it uses those handshake rates for Wi-Fi 6. So digging into it, you'll actually notice on the actual box, there's actually a Matter scan QR code, because they do change these to Matter. Now, for Home Assistant users, it's going to be the same. That's where the beauty of things with all the Shelly in-wall relays and their plugs, etc. They're pretty awesome for totally get the pass. I remember doing several videos in the past of like trying to flash them with Tasmota and everything, but we're not doing Tasmota, or because just run stock firmware. Well, what the hell? Run stock firmware? Yes, absolutely. You can take the Shelly products out of the box, pair it up with your Wi-Fi, using the access point mode. You don't even need their app. You don't even need internet. Pair it up, put on your network, and then you'll bring it right into Home Assistant with no additional software configuration, etc. It's all local. How awesome is that? And then you can take that same product, go across the street to your neighbor that's using, like, say, Google or Alexa or something like that, using cloud-based stuff, pair it with the cloud, and use it with their stuff as well. But even with these new Gen 4s, you can use it with Matter, which Matter is local, or flip them over to Zigbee. How pretty badass is that you got this multifaceted device that you can use with all these different protocols, local, cloud, whatever you want to do. And yeah, I've done run my mouth enough, but they are pretty awesome. So I do have one open here if you want to take a look at it. This was the Shelly 1 Gen 4 that I do have open here. So you can actually see it is the Shelly version of the ESP-C6. I did check it with ESP Tool Pi. It does have an 8 meg flash. Now, where we're going with that, I'm probably not going to even flash them with Tasmota, ESP Home, or anything, because, yeah, just use the stock firmware as it is, like I've said. If you're not familiar with the Shelly products, these are in-wall relays, and do keep in mind the smaller ones are 8 amp. So for the US people, be careful of that. Check your code and everything. I know that I have 15 amp or 20 amp breakers in my home, and you don't want this to be the weakest link. So you definitely want to opt for the 16 amp model here. That's going to cover you in the US for those different amperages. I know probably the ones across the pond can get away with doing the 8 amp due to the whole 240 volt thing there. But do keep in mind, you can use those. Don't overload them. I know I've done some tests in the past of them. They have some great engineering, but don't rely on that. Actually do stick to what's on the box. So that is at 8 amp. If you're going to use it, I would probably, in the US with a 15 amp breaker, I'd probably put a fuse on it to cover for that 8 amp coverage. So this is the Shelly 1, and looking closely at, it's fairly similar to what we've seen in the past. And so just wanted to do check, there is that 16 amp relay inside. And you do still get that header on the back there if you want to like plug in, especially like the little volt link flashers. If you really wanted to go that route, but from what Shelly has been telling me, do make sure if you're gonna flash this, not really recommended for me at this time. I know it sounds weird, but back up your chip and everything on it, because they're telling me there's like a special key that you can't get back, and then if you try to come back to stock firmware, the servers won't let you in. So that makes sense that everybody couldn't just flash firmware to an ESP32C6 and jump on and use Shelly services. So there's pretty much nothing else to this little guy. I mean, it's just this Shelly 1. Be careful if you do pop it open, if you're nosy like me, that you don't lose the little button on the back. That button is for, you can switch from Zigbee to Matter firmware on the Gen 4. But these clamshells just pop open. You can do them with a spudger and they pop back together. There's no glue or anything like that. I love that they've done this little design for these. And then the header is also for plugging in some of their other sensors and that LoRa and stuff like that. But I haven't been able to play with any of that yet. I do like they have the actual wiring diagram for you. So like if you still want to run this off of 12 volts DC, you can. They're great for like a garage door opener. Just pay attention to the terminals and don't fry this thing with DC voltage. I've seen that done several times. So I've got my little test board here. Do be careful if you're playing with this. These are designed to be in-wall relays. So all of that is hot on that thing. You could potentially shock yourself. Like I say, these are designed to go inside the electrical boxes just like so, behind things, behind switches, etc., not hanging out for someone else to shock themselves. Now I know the burning question that I had right whenever we got this device, played with it CES, was can it do Zigbee and Wi-Fi at the same time? Technically, yes, but it's not suggested to do that, not recommended at all, because remember, it is that one chip. And of course, if you start to do like Bluetooth proxy on it with Home Assistant plus Wi-Fi plus Zigbee, that's just a whole lot of RF off that one chip. So kind of pick your protocol and not use Wi-Fi if you're going to use it in a Zigbee environment. So let's just go ahead and look at Zigbee. I have it in Zigbee to MQTT right now. So I've got this zoomed in. This is just my little test Zigbee to MQTT, as you can see, and it's right there and it shows supported. That's pretty awesome. Being, and it says 1 p.m. Gen 4, I didn't think I would ever really see the day for a Zigbee device inside of Zigbee to MQTT with the Shelly name on it. Now, the way there is in the documentation to change it from Matter to Zigbee, I believe you push the button on the back of it 5 times. That flips it from Matter over to that Zigbee to, be able to use it with different things. Like Alexa, all kind of stuff supports Zigbee. Pretty awesome that they've just enabled that and makes it work. So I wanted to check out, I do have a 60 watt light bulb here, and you can see it came on my shiny dome. So yeah, fairly close. And that's usually what I get out of this light bulb, is like 58 to 59 watts. So you working just fine. I know previous stuff we had some, like the hertz was showing weird, shows 60 hertz, shows that half an amp current exactly for 120 volts. No issues there. And link quality, we are pretty close. Now, one thing to note, also, it is a router in the whole Zigbee game of things. That's going to be basically your repeater. It puts it in the mesh, and that way it forwards and builds a bigger network in Zigbee if you want to use these in Zigbee mode. So pretty cool to see this in Zigbee to MQTT. And now let's jump over to the web interface with this guy. Now, if you're not familiar with the web interface on the Shellys, it's pretty damn slick. It's built all right in, just open it up with a web browser. And the cool part, as we mentioned before, when you do plug this in, now as soon as you wire it up, it's going to be in access point mode, and then just browse over to it using your phone. You don't even need to use their app, but you're more than welcome to. And you can use the browser and then go put in your Wi-Fi, your password, if you want to use static, etc. And that's it. Now, one thing I do recommend is to go turn off the access point mode, because it still will broadcast access point mode plus still be on your Wi-Fi. This is the access point setting. You do want to turn that off or put a password on it. It looks like when you put it in Zigbee mode, it disables that for you. Now, I'm curious, like the Matter mode, if you go ahead and change it over to Matter. So you just click the button on the back of it for that 5 times, and it's going to switch over to Matter mode. And once it switches over, you'll notice in the interface, you have the Matter feature, and then you even get the QR code right here on the web page in case you're like me and lose the damn thing in the box. Pretty cool. Right here, just scan it and add it in Matter. Now, Matter is local, it's Matter over Wi-Fi, but really, in my circumstance, I really don't need it in Home Assistant, but we'll just leave it as is. So pretty much nothing else to it in the interface. You've seen this. If you've seen Shelly's before, you get the on-off button, you get the wattage, the hertz, everything, the voltage, all you need right there. You can go through and also update the firmware. Now, one thing I'm curious of, I haven't seen if they have firmware updates over Zigbee or firmware updates over Matter, but I do know over the Wi-Fi, you can come in here and go to the firmware and check to see if there is a new update. And it looks like, do I have a new one? Oh, I do have a beta firmware I could update to. So pretty much that's all there is to that. You can hit update and it will download the new update showing here. Pretty cool stuff. No having to flash things and do Tasmota or ESP Home YAML stuff or whatever. It just happens all on the device, all locally, and you pick the protocol. Now for the HA users, Home Assistant, there's nothing else really to this. Look, I just flipped over. And there it is, had notification, one new device, no plugins, no nothing. It's built straight into Home Assistant with auto discovery. Pretty awesome there. Just hit add. It's gonna ask you want to set it up. This isn't battery powered, we're fine. Hit submit, pick your area, hit finish, and it's popped in. Now watch this, this is cool as well. You can come in here and hit configure, and then you can turn on the Bluetooth scanner. Yes. This is a Bluetooth proxy, stock firmware, no putting ESP Home. It will scan and bring in devices like all like your little Bluetooth temperature sensors from various brands. You call it, you throw in your Bluetooth. It's pretty awesome there. And let's go ahead and do it. Let's say active. It still impresses me with what they've done with the whole Shelly and the Home Assistant world. So when it pop in, look at this. I don't have it as a stock name, says Shelly 1 PM4, blah, blah, blah. But then we should be able to actually turn on our bulb and boom, you can see we get our wattage. They do have some disabled entities, the current voltage. If you want to enable those, you can. But I guess they figure some people probably aren't using those or looking at wattage and then actually to turn the switch on and off. Pretty quick. As you can see, lighting up on my big shiny forehead. Now, one thing I did want to see is in the Bluetooth is you should see, there it is. Here's working as a Bluetooth proxy. And if we come in here for the Shelly PM4 behind my head here, hit configure, and then hit the advertisement monitor and scroll down, we should see the Shelly PM Gen4 actually picking up my Inkbird freezer. So here's all the different Bluetooth stuff. I've got some ATC. It's got a SwitchBot keychain, even picks up my coffee cup. That's pretty damn awesome that with stock firmware it can pick up all the different Bluetooth sensors for processing Bluetooth proxy in the Home Assistant. So as you can see, a pretty awesome device. I'm excited to start using all the Gen 4 stuff of being able to use it like in some Zigbee environments, Matter over Wi-Fi. And it is just that ESP32C6 that gives you that next step up versus the ESP32. I think they were using the C3 and the Gen 3 model. So many numbers. But pretty awesome for like, it makes it easy. I mean, I remember the days we had to take things apart and everything and then try to put special software and configure YAML files and everything. I mean, the whole onboarding process for a new user, they pop it out the box and boom, it's in Home Assistant. Then you can use the damn thing with Matter and Zigbee. Shelly's doing some awesome stuff out there. So, and no, they didn't pay me to say any of this. It's just, I really love some of their cool stuff they're doing with their hardware and their software, all stock firmware. Definitely gets a pass from me. I'm not going to be putting ESP Home or Tasmodo on my devices. I guess you're welcome to, but be careful doing that. So that about do it for this one. I appreciate Doug, Shelly, everybody out there for having us at CES and showing us around and sending these new products. I'd like to check out some of the other stuff they have coming out soon. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get those when they release them. So y'all know the drill. Press all them buttons, and y'all take care.